Giovanni Mazzarelli. My kids are thrown out of school, and my nephews and nieces are thrown out of school. Because Martin Luther King Day was yesterday, I'd like to just start this with one quote from Martin Luther King. It says, "One has a moral responsibility to disobey unjust laws." Okay, that's Martin Luther King, just happened yesterday. This is what's going on. People need to understand the science, and first I want to appreciate the entire board, because I realize that you guys are you volunteer your time here for the children. I get that. You're not paid millions of dollars, and you're not paid well to hear a lot of blah, blah, blah complaints. So I want to recognize that first off, and I want to point my finger at myself as well, because we stayed silent. We stayed silent. I've been talking about this stuff and learning about this stuff for the last 27 years. I know and understand the facts, and I made it my new mission now to educate others about this, okay? Because people are really, literally ignorant about the topic. And I blame myself. I point my finger at myself. So I want to educate the public about this. I want to educate the teachers, the board, and everyone else. I appreciate the comments that Dr. Valari made, and I understand what's going on in California very, very well. But you have to understand, kicking these kids out of school absolutely makes no sense. These rules there's no logic and science behind what's going on. The children get kicked out of school because they don't have their 43 mandatory doses of vaccinations. There's not a teacher in the school. There's not a custodian. There's not a lunch lady. There's nobody else in that school that meets the requirement of these unvaccinated kids. Those teachers and parents are just as unvaccinated as others, right? So if you're going to kick those kids out, then you must demand that either everyone gets their vaccinations, roll up your sleeves, and get their vaccinations, or get kicked out, because that's a reality. I'm 50. I haven't been vaccinated in 40 years. I am no longer vaccinated. That's the facts, and I'll gladly share more. The kids with medical exemption can go to school, right? And they should not be segregated against. They should not be picked on. I don't believe that whatsoever. But just to understand how unjust it is. So they're saying the kid that has they're covering a couple different categories. A kid that has cancer or other serious autoimmune disease, they cannot get the vaccines because the vaccines cause harm, right? There's kids that have HIV, kids with hepatitis B. They are allowed to go to school. Now again, I have no problem with them going to school because there's no proof or evidence that they cause a problem, right? This is all new. This all happened 6 months ago. Now all of a sudden these unvaccinated kids are a problem. But think about the irony here. Kids that are by definition autoimmune, or kids that have a disease can go to school, but my kids cannot, right? However, if my daughter or son were to contract hepatitis B, for example, they would be able to go to school. That just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone else, right? But my kids are determined to be a public health threat, right? It would be unjust or unfair to pick on a kid that has HIV. You can't. It's a HIPAA violation. You can't do that. It's segregation. You can't do that. Now, why all of a sudden is it not segregation, or why is it okay to pick on a kid that's unvaccinated? It makes no sense. This law is for kids that are from 0 to 17. Once you're 18, you develop this special, all of a sudden, this invisible force field. I mean, come on. This doesn't make any sense that they're doing this. What are my other facts there? I think I missed one. Oh, my kids are a public health threat only Monday through Friday. This is the big one. They're only a public health threat Monday through Friday from 8 to 3. They mentioned this before they passed the law. One of the senators actually said, yeah, but what are we going to accomplish when we do this? What's going to happen? My kids can't go to school Monday through Friday from 8 to 3, but they can go to school for after-school projects or after-school things. They can go to the movie theaters. They can go to a diner. They can go everywhere else in public. I'm the coach of the town soccer league where my kid plays with kids that used to be in his class. This is not right. It just makes no sense. Or you think it makes a lot of sense. There's another topic called viral shedding. It's not, check this, don't believe in me. I tell people all the time, check what I'm talking about. When the kids get these the injections, the vaccinations, if you read the pamphlet that comes with it, it says right on it, not all of them, but six of the vaccines actually have live or attenuated viruses. Live or attenuated viruses can shed. It's called viral shedding, okay? So now you have my child who does not have a disease, healthy kid, does not have a disease, not allowed to go to school because they're a public health threat. You have a child who has a vaccination who just got injected with the bug virus. It says it right in black and white that those kids can spread disease, and it varies from disease what vaccination it is, but it can shed from 2 to 4 weeks. If you're going to kick my kid out of school because of the public health threat, then I say, if you think that's smart, you need to kick every kid out that gets one of those 6 shots, every time he gets one of those 6 shots, for the 2 to 4 weeks. Because we have to protect the public. We have to protect the kids. That's what they're talking about, right? It's a public health threat. It's written down right in black and white. Now, does that sound strange or odd to you? This has been going on for decades, and it's never been a problem. Now, all of a sudden, 6 months ago, it's a problem. Does anyone see and understand that? There's laws in place that say that if there's an outbreak, the kids have to be brought home. I'm okay. I'm all right with that, because it doesn't ever happen, and whatever makes people happy. But to segregate this population, it's wrong. It's just nothing. It's based upon smoke and mirrors. There's no factual evidence of it. As a matter of fact, I just showed you some evidence that the exact opposite is true. Not that the unvaccinated children are dangerous. The unvaccinated children aren't dangerous because they cannot spread a disease that they don't have. On the other hand, the vaccinated children can, and they do. And it's been shown that just because you're vaccinated doesn't mean you can't spread that. Before, there was 26,000 medical religious exemptions in New York. 26,000. So 13 kids got kicked out of school. Many other kids just conform because they have no choice. The parents both work. People work. They're put very undue pressure to do this. And it was nice for some of those states that gave you 3 years to do it. But at the end of the day, it's still segregation. It's still the government deciding what goes into your child. Nobody should decide what goes into my kid except me. Nobody should decide what goes into me except me. This is a First Amendment issue. Don't make no mistake about it. The government put vaccines to the side. This is just a simple question of, you might be the biggest proponent of vaccines in the world. You cannot sit there and say to me, the government should have the right to decide what goes into your kid's body. The government has the right to decide what goes into your kid's body. And I'm telling you right now, they're coming for adults next. It sounds crazy. When I say it, I feel like I'm in a twilight zone, but look it up, cdc.gov, healthandhumanservices.gov, manuals about it, how to do it. They have an adult vaccination schedule, okay? And if they can demand it for my kid, why can't they demand it for us? They will not stop unless we stop them. June they passed this law, September they required 43 mandatory vaccinations to come to school. It's 4 months later, September, they want to push another law, 20 more vaccinations mandated, 3 for HPV and the influenza shot, 0 to 17. So that's 17 more plus the 3. That's 20 more vaccinations that are going to be mandatory before the kids come into school. Other school boards have gotten together to say this is not right, this is not right. I'm asking you to do what's right for our kids, right? I know you're here for the kids. What about our kids? I demand better of myself, and I'm going to demand better for the board. I'm not going to go away, and I'm going to ask you plain and simple. Do you think it's okay that these kids get segregated against? Do you think it's okay for these kids to get segregated? Do you think it's okay for these kids to be segregated against? Do you think it's okay? Do you think it's okay? Do you think it's okay? I'm going to ask, and I'm going to keep on asking, okay? Because I want it on record to say that this board understands and knows, and I'll gladly teach you more about it, whether it's founded or unfounded. It's really non-consequential, but I will show you that it is unfounded prejudice against these kids, discrimination, segregation, and I'm going to demand more of myself. I have to do better. I'm going to demand more of this community. I'm coming to the community. I'm going to teach you guys why this is right or wrong, and I'm going to ask you to take a stand. It's just that simple. And I'm not going to tell you what to do, because it's not my job to tell you what to do, but I want on record, hey, when this came up to vote, this person said yes, this person said no, this person said yes. Because that's what we need. We need that. Otherwise, we're in trouble. Thanks for my 3 minutes.